At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Ranked #1 in innovation for 10 consecutive years and #2 among public universities for employability, ASU isn't just ahead of the curve, it's creating new paths to success. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online, that's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Lowe's knows how to help you save. This July 4th, get up to 40% off select Whirlpool kitchen appliances. Plus, get an additional 10% off when you buy 2 or 3 select major appliances. And when you buy 4 or more, you'll save an additional 20%. Find the right appliances and features that fit your kitchen's unique needs and style. Shop Whirlpool 4th of July deals at Lowe's. Valid through 7/9. See Lowe's.com for details. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Selection varies by location.
Stop by Sherwin-Williams and get 30% off select paints and stains June 13th through the 23rd. It's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Refresh your home inside and out with colors that make every space feel brand new. From cozy interiors to stunning exteriors, we've got the perfect shade for your next project. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
If you love entertainment, current events, and Hollywood, don't miss Creator to Creators, hosted by the filmmaker Meosha, known for the Shudder hit documentary Horror Noir and the acclaimed film Anatomy of an Anti-Hero, Redemption. This show features interviews with filmmakers and creatives from around the globe. Join the fun with guest celebrities and gain valuable insights. Subscribe now and follow Creator to Creators.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators today. Today we have a special guest.
Hi, my name is Calvin Naraghi.
Welcome, welcome.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, of course. So I love always going back to the beginning. I always say the beginning kind of charts our trajectory of like where we're going in life, like our little small habits as we're kids, we kind of pick up along the way. They kind of follow us into our adulthood. Tell me a little bit about your childhood. What was that like growing up, and kind of how did you find your way into doing the things that you're doing now?
Yeah. So I'm in LA right now, but I'm
Yes.
from San Diego. So I've just been in Southern California whole life.
Love that.
And yeah, it was a lot of I did a lot of the things that, parents want you to do. I did sports that I didn't really want to do for like a whole life. I did a career in engineering that I wasn't like super interested in, but I, did it. And then I finally, was like, what do I want to do? I want to do something creative. I want to do because my whole childhood, I'd be painting all the time. I'd be working on little skits, making little iMovies with friends. And I was like, I really want to actually think about this and dive into it a bit more.
Yeah.
And kind of just started really trying those things and seeing how they actually fit.
That's so cool. How so was it was it like one thing, or was it like multiple different things that you really was interested in, like acting, and then
Yeah, it actually was like stepping stones kind of. So when I started college down in San Diego, the first day I was like doing those little like those job or not job fair, like those student club fairs, and I saw the improv team. And they were all like so energetic, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's like a cup of espresso. I gotta join that. So I talked to them and I joined their club, and that's when I started doing some acting stuff. And then I kind of started building off of that. I'd be doing short films with friends. I would write scripts. And then I came up for this idea for a script that I really liked. But I thought, with how low budget our our films that we've been making, I'm like, this will just not be able to show it in the way I want to show it. And then I was reading some books at the time, and I was thinking, well, I should maybe just try and do it in this medium, and maybe it would be able to get rid of that monetary budget I had set in my head. I'm just like the only limit just makes your imagination. And it was so much more fun to write it that way.
No, I love that. I love that. I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah, creating a movie is so expensive these days,
Yeah.
but you know, there was a film I did see. I think it was Steven Soderbergh. He made a film called, I think it was like Unsane, or
Mhm.
and it was shot on an iPhone 7, I believe, or an 8. And
Mhm.
I mean, I mean, it looked amazing. It was absolutely incredible. And I was like, well, so it taught me like, yeah, you can shoot anything creatively on anything with like, obviously there was a budget, but still like it looked great and the storyline was there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's amazing what we can do.
Yeah, you definitely, I feel like it's that is one thing I do love about like student films and no budget films is that they always find really creative ways to do things. Then you like see it and you're like, oh my gosh, like everyone should be doing that. Or like
Yeah.
that's a good little like gimmick that they did. Or
Oh
like
yeah.
transition. It's so cool.
Insane. It's crazy how it works. And what, like when I saw that in theaters, I was like, how did you do that? It's crazy. I tried it and it's a lot. It's a lot, just put it that way.
It's
Um,
those editors, man. They're
yeah,
magic. They're
right.
magic.
Thank you, editors. I
Yeah,
don't
thank you,
really get enough
editors, for making
right, like praise at all, I guess.
yeah, you took this and you made that. And that's I don't know what you did, but you got from there to there.
I love that. So I know that you this is your first book. I read
Mhm.
about it and the concept, and it's really interesting. Tell me a little bit about this book, what it means to you, and what was the inspiration behind it.
Yeah. It was like kind of a clustering of multiple things. It started with well, first I'll say what it's about. This book, I actually have a copy there here. So this book,
Hey.
there
Uh,
it is. Uh, so it is about a boarding school boy who his parents like send him off to boarding school without just another word randomly. And 8 years pass and he tries to get in contact with them. They won't answer. He's just confused. And on the day of his graduation, he gets a mysterious letter inviting him back home. So he's very excited. He doesn't know what to feel. It's all just happening so fast. And he thinks, I'm finally going to go back to my house and I'm going to get to see all my parents and all my friends and everything. And then when he gets there, nothing's like how he remembered. And this like ominous feeling just is creeping down his spine. And he knows that something's wrong. And
nice.
so the next like bit of the book is just unpacking all these things that he's going to have to uncover from his family secrets and what's happening. And it also involves a very lavish party that will explain even more things that he'd never even knew existed.
Ooh,
It's
I love
very Great Gatsby meets like the Maze Runner, but very
that. Ooh,
horrific.
I love that. I love that. That sounds great. You've sold, that's great sale.
Great.
I love
But
that.
for why I wrote it though, so the initial idea, it came to me in like a nightmare. I just remember waking up just drenched in sweat, and I was like, that was terrifying. I have to write that down.
I love it.
And then I just started. I was writing it while I was working in San Diego. I was actually working at my parents' engineering firm, and I was living at home. So I was writing this while I was doing like civil engineering, which is a
Mhm.
lot of like house building. And
Nice.
so the mansions that I describe in this book were based off of pieces of mansions that I was like detailing in real life
Love it.
around. So it was really cool to like kind of mesh like reality in this fantasy world. And then I also was kind of just like I wanted to write about, you know, a character who wanted to, find himself and start finding like this feeling of believing in yourself instead of relying on others to tell you what you are.
Mm.
So that kind of like is the real message of the book, just finding the strength to have the confidence in yourself.
And that's a big thing. That's a huge topic. I mean, that could be a complete series right there. Just finding yourself. I think we
Mhm.
do live in a day and age and time that it feels like people don't really know, because I blame social media. That's just
Yeah.
me. I don't know if you agree with that.
Yeah, I do. I feel like it makes it hard. It definitely makes it like, um, I always have this thing where it's like, that's like something I try and live by now because it makes it a little easier. But I feel like we compare ourselves to other people so quickly, just
Oh.
subconsciously, that I now have to tell myself, I'm like, if you're going to compare one thing, you have to compare everything because you're picking the best part of that person to compare, and you're not comparing any of the parts where you like shine.
Hmm.
So you have to take it as a whole. You can't just take the pieces that make you look worse.
Right. Yeah. It's a big thing. Acceptance and self-worth, and I guess all of that is it's a I feel like I feel like it starts with, obviously I always say get a great therapist, especially in
Yeah.
the business that we're in.
Hmm.
I see that a lot with a lot of actors. And unfortunately, like, and I mean, like, and I always say actors and models, I'd say for sure. And I'm like, you get paid to look amazing, and you have
Hmm.
what's really you don't believe in yourself. Like you just it's just
Yeah.
mind blowing sometimes. I mean, even the top models I've met, and I'm just like blown away. So I always
Yeah.
say I think it's a it's constant work, I believe, on self.
Yeah. It's definitely a we're always a work in progress,
Oh yeah. Oh,
especially up here.
oh my gosh, yeah. Oh yeah. What are the things that for you when you were writing this book, were there any, I don't know, things that came up that were kind of scary to reflect on as you're writing?
Yeah, well, I feel like a big part of this book, without giving away spoilers, is
Oh yeah.
that it kind of goes through this idea of you have a set path, like someone's decided something for you, and you have to decide if you're gonna stick with that or if you're gonna go your own way.
Mm,
And so at that time, I was doing the engineering, and I was doing that 9 to 5, 5 days a week, and then at night and on the weekends, I was doing acting classes and short
mm,
films. And I was like, I really want to go to LA and try this thing, but that's such a big risk and such a thing to try it. And so I finished this book, and I think the day before New Year's.
nice.
And that same day, I was like, well, I finished this book. I just wrote about this guy trying to like do his own thing, and here I am being hypocritical and not doing mine. And
Mm,
so, so my New Year's resolution was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna follow my own advice. And then on the 4th, I moved up to LA.
awesome.
So it's
Awesome.
just in the span of a week, I was like, I should really just go before I change my mind and get cool.
Yeah, that's what it takes, right? It's just, obviously I always say like, yeah, I totally relate. I'm from Florida originally. And so
Mhm.
when I ended up, I've lived a lot of places in my life, and I'm a very mysterious person. So I never like to tell people like where I am, because
Yeah,
I'm a little weird about people knowing exactly. I don't know, it's a thing.
yeah, gotta hide
I've
the
had
paper
I've
trail.
yeah, I've had stalker situations in the past.
Mhm.
But I remember when lived in Colorado, I bought this crap car, and I was like, I'm gonna just do LA. I'm gonna just drive there and just
Mhm.
do it. It's now or never, And
Yeah,
of course, there's a lot of things that says, to your like, no, you're not ready to have the have all your money. You don't know where you're gonna move to. But I'm a kind of person that's like, why not?
yeah,
Let's try it. And I always say, like, you have to fail in this journey. Failing is actually a good thing because you learn so much from it. I think a lot of people have a fear of failing, and I'm like, I learned so much from my failures. What
mhm.
I don't want to do, what I definitely want to do, the path I want to take. And I drove this car and got to LA, and yeah, I figured it out. 13 plus years later,
Yeah,
I was good. So yeah, I think it is a looking fear in the face and just saying, let's do it.
yeah. Saying screw it. I guess I gotta do it anyway.
Right? I mean, because you don't want to live in regret and think like years later, like, oh, I wish I could have, should have. And
Yeah, I feel like I feel like a lot of people, that's just like a thing that it's like you have to see that like you can be afraid and just do it anyway instead of like having to overcome the fear and then do it. I'm like, I'm never, then I'll never be able to do anything ever.
Right.
I'm just
Exactly. I
thinking
mean,
all the
writing
time.
this book isn't absolutely incredible. I mean,
Thank
I
you.
know a lot of people that say, I want to do, X, Y, and Z. I want to write a book.
Mhm.
Essentially, I want to do something. And I'm like, do you want to do it? Because it's like 2 years later and you still haven't wrote it. But
Yeah.
I admire that. So it takes that, that's a part of it, right? Of just
Mhm.
going on a leap of faith.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very like intimidating to look at, like you just like look at all the thing ahead, like especially for, like writing a book, you're like, oh my gosh, I have to write like so much. I was really fortunate though. I was writing it and I had my had some friends and I had my mom reading every single chapter
Love
like
it.
while I would write it. And so you get that kind of like instant gratification instead of waiting for like the overall thing to be done and stressing if it's like actually good. It really makes it like the difference entirely of just getting like little bits, like little crumbs of self-worth along the way.
I love it. No, I think that's so cool. And I mean the fact that every page, oh, you're solid. You're solid.
Yeah.
I'm excited to check it out myself.
Amazing.
Are there any like writers that you are inspired by, authors that you're like, wow, if I could just,
Yeah.
get a conversation, a coffee date with them just to pick their brain, who would it be and why?
Ooh, okay. Well, so I've recently been reading a lot of books by, I don't know how to say his last name. I think it's Anthony Dower. He
Mm.
wrote All the Lights We Cannot See. They just made it a limited series.
Oh, cool.
Um, but I just finished his books are long. They're like I just finished one that was like 600 pages, but it felt
Sheesh.
like 100 because it's so I don't though I really would love to talk to him because everything he writes is about things that you don't really think about or like places you don't think about. Like this last one I read from him is called Cloud Cuckoo Land, and it's about this story that's like it's so old. It's like this story about this man who wants to go to this place called Cloud Cuckoo Land in the sky, and it basically jumps from like different time periods of people talking about this book. Like starts in Constantinople, and then it jumps to present day, and it jumps to the future on this like ship going to another
Oh,
um,
wow.
planet, and it just keeps like threading all these things together, and it does so in such a way where everything like comes together in the end, and you just feel like, how did he write so many plot points and like intermesh them all so perfectly? It's just amazing.
Oh,
So I would love to read that again soon.
that's that's so cool. What would you ask him on the coffee? Uh,
I always say, like, what's your, I don't know, do you write backwards or do you write, like, how do you foreshadow all these things and make them add together so seamlessly?
oh yeah, no, for sure. It's I find it so interesting to when I meet people like that, or there's people like, directors you see and you're like, how did they think of that? Like what were they on? Are they taking, are they on some type of drugs? Like
Yeah.
it's like
What did they
so
do?
out of this world.
Like, how did they, yeah.
You're
I
like,
don't
what are you? I want to take whatever you're taking. I need that in my life. Like, um, I feel like for me, when it comes to creating or um working on something, I have to feel inspired. Uh,
Mhm.
like I have to like something strikes me because like there's so many other stories I love to write, but I just have to be inspired in order for me to actually complete it. Um,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
totally fair.
yeah. What about you? Is it just like you said, the dream scared you? Like you woke up into like, I have to write this.
Um, yeah, I feel like it's actually funny. I feel like a lot of the things that I write or like short films I get, they're always based on I'll have like I'll hear a song or something, and then I'll just picture this scene like over meshing the song, and I'm like, oh my God, that'd be such a perfect like scene to do. I should just backtrack and write an entire book so I can write that scene,
I love
or
that.
write an entire script so I can like have that one moment. And so I just keep a collection of all these like quotes and like scene ideas in my uh notes app, and then I'm trying to see like how I can puzzle piece them together and make them into things.
I love that. For me, it's soundtracks, so I feel you.
Yeah.
Like I love listening to a like an Inceptions or some
Hmm.
whatever, and then just kind of just go, like, just imagine and just like sink into the music, and like so many things come to mind. But yeah, that, like, would you say that your style, like, I would say, like, to intermesh and all that stuff, those worlds, to go to future
Hmm.
past to make it make sense, sounds like a Christopher Nolan's movie to me. Like, it
Uh,
sounds like some type of, like, because I feel like he has that kind of mind of like, what?
yeah, I I would not compare myself to him. That's a big jump. I don't know how the hell his mind must work in like multiple tracks at the same time because I don't. I remember I saw a video of him like writing out like I think the Tenet timeline or like
Oh my
something
God.
on like a whiteboard, and I was like, what's, it's like, I don't even know what's going on. It's like different like planes of existence on the board. I'm like, it looks like a Stephen Hawking, a Hawking like formula that he was working on or something.
I love,
Um, yeah,
I
but
love
I
that.
try and like, I don't know. I like to backtrack, I think.
Yeah.
Um, one of the main things I like one of the recent ones I had, I was listening to the song Sweet Disposition. Do you know
Oh
that
my
song?
God, my favorite.
Yeah, I was listening to that. That's such like a end of movie song. And so I was listening to that and I had this like idea for this other book that I'm writing right now. And I was like, oh my gosh, that fits perfectly. Like the character is like on this mountaintop overlooking this town
Nice.
while this song is playing in like the desert. And I'm like, this is great. I got to write this and got to backtrack this and give a reason for why they're there.
I
And it just
love
worked.
that. I love that. I think it's brilliant. I have a fun question for you. So
Yeah.
there's no wrong answer, but the three levels of influence: money, power, and respect. And if you could
Mhm.
choose only one of those things, which one would you choose and why?
Ooh. Money, power, or respect. I think I'd probably pick, I think power. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm like, I had to think about that one. I feel like money could change in respect. You can, I feel like people are just not going to respect you no matter what. So power, at least you can like kind of get the respect of the people you need to move forward.
Yeah, that's a great answer. No, I love that.
Good question.
No, thank you. I usually, a lot of people always say respect, and I don't think that's most people's, like, deep down, I don't think, I think that's a political thing to say,
Mhm.
because it's like,
I-
oh, respect. It's like, but you're right. Either people are going to respect you or not. Who cares, right? Like,
yeah. I won't lie, the people pleaser in me really was about to say respect because I'm like cannot handle people not liking me. So but I was like, I gotta think forward.
I have a question for that's an interesting, the people pleasing. And
Mhm.
this is like a really interesting question because I have a lot of wonderful friends, and that I've seen do that, and
Mhm.
when we have conversations and they're like, how do you not? I'm like, I don't care. Like, that's just me. They're like, well, you're so harsh. I'm like, I don't know, maybe it is, but I just don't. I mean, I wonder, and I'm curious, what do you think it comes from? Is it a psychological thing? Do you think it's something from childhood trauma?
The people pleasing,
Yeah.
I think it comes from just um I don't know, I really enjoy making other people feel comfortable. It makes me feel better as a
Mm,
person. So I feel like even if I really don't like somebody, I mean, I'd probably be fake, but I'll probably be nice to their face, but then really not want to talk to them again. But I just don't want to like purposely hurt people. And I don't even know if that would be people pleasing. I guess it would just be wanting to make everybody feel welcome.
mm. Yeah, no, I totally get that. I totally get that. I've seen it done in some extreme measures, to the point
Mhm.
where, like, I've seen with my own eyes of people that I really care about and love, and they told me, without saying the person's name, it's something from childhood, that it's like trying to get the validation of someone
Mhm.
that they didn't have growing up. And I'm like, oh, I see. So it's like, constantly trying to, I guess, fix that inner child or heal
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, I can definitely see. I definitely can see that. It
Yeah.
definitely is a lot of things mixing together.
Yeah. All right. I have another question that I loved asking this question. And again, um, no wrong answer. But if you, so there's obviously there's Stephen King, who's I guess preferably one of the greatest writers of all time. Um, if you could remake or make one of his books into a film that hasn't been done yet, which one would you do? Or if there was one that's already been done, which one would you remake and why?
Oh gosh. Um, I feel like I need to pull up a list of his books. I actually just watched Misery for the first time last night.
Really?
Um, and I
Nice.
watched Shining for the first time last week.
Whoa, wow. Did you like
Um,
it?
I really liked Misery a lot, actually. That might be in my top like 10 movies now. Uh,
Nice.
The Shining, I feel like for Misery, I didn't really know what was gonna happen, but for The Shining, like they use it in so many clips, I know exactly what was happening.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really cool to like I think that movie's great, but I would love actually to see it remade. It's in like a like with all the modern like cinematic stuff they have now. I feel like it'd be so cool just to see how they could change it. Not change like the story, but change like the craziness of that hotel like in the book. It would just be so
Ooh.
they could do it so well. Like even just how they did it, I guess with Doctor Sleep, the sequel, they just
Oh,
like can
yeah.
like up all the like craziness to a whole new level.
Yeah, you're right. Doctor Sleep was beautifully shot. I mean, I think it's brilliant. I think it's actually underrated. Like I think it's such a great film and how they
Mhm.
did the I guess like the astral projection, like when she just like was flying out to the room. I was like, whoa, how do you visually? I was like, this is
Yeah.
insane.
It's that
Um
Christopher Nolan mindset.
yeah, exactly, exactly. What advice would you give to, you know, aspiring writers out there that are trying to write a book or get into this business?
Um, I would say you really just have to like give it a try. I feel like you actually just have to sit down and write something utterly horrible. Like just finish that first draft. That was my main problem was that I would write and I'd be like, oh my gosh, this first line has to like change people's lives. And I'm like, that's just not gonna happen. So I would just say to myself, just keep writing, you can deal with it when it's done. And by the time you actually finish the book, just if you just keep writing, it could be nonsense, it could be anything. By the time you get to the end to where you actually have to review and like rip yourself apart, you already have a book. So you already won.
Yeah, no, that you're right. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that advice. I feel like a lot of people just, it's again, it's the fear and not sure if they're good enough to write. I mean,
Yeah.
oh, I mean, I think about those artists that are, whether it's in music or film or writing. I feel like every artist who became whatever
Mhm.
just started. That's essentially all it was.
Yeah.
Like if you think about Elton John, like he just started and kept going, and then he became a legend. Beyonce and all both these
Yeah.
people that are legends now. So you just never know. You're
Yeah.
right.
I will say though, the best thing I think about book writing is that you can do it kind of in secret. Like
Mm.
you can write, you can just try and write from like the safety of your bedroom, and you can do this whole thing, this whole experience by yourself if you want. And if it doesn't work out, no one needs to know you tried. And if it does work out, then you're just like, for me, I just like posted it on my Instagram and they're like, what the heck? When did you start? When did you write a book? And I'm like, I was doing it the whole time, but I didn't want to tell anyone until it was done. And
I
that's
love that. I think that's a good thing. I think like we live in an age of information. Everyone, I don't know. Maybe oversharing could be a bit social media. Everyone's wanting to, hey, I'm using the restroom. I'm out here doing it.
yeah.
It's like, whoa, you have to have some type of like, I don't know, something for self, I believe. I think that's so super healthy. I don't know. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. I think having things that are just for you are important. It's nice to celebrate your accomplishments if you want to share it with people. Um, I I enjoy those parts where I get to like post I did something and people get to be like, oh my gosh, I did that same thing, and then we like talk about it, or I get to like reconnect with somebody that I haven't talked to in years about a shared experience. But I feel like a lot of the times it is like you post something, you don't really know why you posted it, and then you're kind of like, why? Like, why did I just impulsively do that? Because I didn't really want to share that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, do you have social media breaks like for you to when you have like and I think anybody, do you have those moments or how do you do it? Do you to like recharge your battery, to get back in the creative field?
Yeah, I feel like I don't I don't post like a crazy amount. So I usually just kind of use it more to like just rot away in bed. So it doesn't really like drain me as much.
Perfect.
I used to do a lot of TikToks during
Oh.
quarantine. I would like do it like every day, and that was really draining. And then I remember me and my friends, we all decided to do like, I wouldn't say it was like a dare of sorts. We just decided like no social media for the entire week or whatever, which isn't even that long when you think about it. That's how that is.
You're like,
Uh,
no.
it was like a week, and then by the time I got back to everything, I was like, why was I doing this? Why was I posting every day? Like, I can't do this now. It just changed my mindset. Um, so I haven't done a week break yet again. Maybe I should try that. Might be good.
Yeah, I know for sure. I take my it's so funny. I have a lot of friends that like to like, hey, what are you doing? And like to write me on Instagram, not my cell phone. I'm like,
Oh no.
what is that? I
Yeah.
don't get it.
Are
But
they European by chance? I guess that's a
yeah,
big thing. I didn't know that they all like a lot of people do it over there. They just message on Instagram.
yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. So I guess that's the thing, but I'm not, I take my breaks. I definitely like take my mental, like I just recently took a little break, a couple weeks. I was like, I have to step away.
Mhm.
When I'm just like on it all day, like I feel like, okay, yeah, this is just way too much. Like,
Yeah.
not healthy. Um, um, I was gonna say, so thank you so much again for coming on. We're literally almost like the countdown's like counting down, but
Oh,
I was
dang,
gonna
that's fast.
ask you, like what is your goal with this book and what do you want people to walk away with after reading it? What is your hopes?
Um, I just I wrote it because I thought it was very. I always love those kind of This isn't a dystopian book, but I always love those young adult series like Harry Potter, Hunger Games. Love the Hunger Games, Maze Runner, Divergent, all those. And I was like, I really just want to write my own kind of thrilling action-y book, and I just want to like see where it goes. I really want to expand on it. I hope people do read it, and I really hope they like it. It was so much fun to write. Uh, Even rereading it myself, I was like on the edge of my seat because I kind of forgot like bits and pieces. I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Uh, and so I really just want people to, I think when you read it, it's a fun read. It's not very taxing on the brain.
Love
It's
that.
just like exciting and fun to go through. And I hope that's what people get away from it. And also that feeling of, you know, trusting your confidence, putting the confidence in yourself instead of giving it to other people to give you.
100%. I love that. It's a great message. Um, Last question.
Yeah.
You get to the end of your life, you've accomplished all the things that you want in life, you've done everything, and you get to the pearly gates of heaven, you meet God. What would you want God to say about you and everything that you've done on this earth?
Um, I just want to hear like you tried, and proud of you for trying.
Yeah,
I that's I mean I'm just want to do as many things as I can. That's the main thing I want to do. And I feel like this year I've been doing that. Prior to this year, not as much. And so I'm really excited to keep this hill going. And I hope that other people see that I'm trying to do
love
things.
that. Love that. It's a beautiful answer. Where can people find you on social media to follow?
Yeah. My author Instagram is at Calvin Naraghi, CalvinNA. Raghi. And then just that has a link tree to everything else.
Yes. Awesome. Yeah,
I don't want to keep spelling everything. Everyone's gonna be like,
I
this
know,
guy's
right? Linktree it, guys. Linktree is
link
like
tree
a
it.
lifesaver.
Yeah, literally. And yeah, but so you get to learn all about this book, and it's coming
Yay.
out October 15th.
Okay. October 15th. Congratulations. That's
Thank you.
exciting. Everyone go get the book, support, follow. And thank you again. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. This was so much fun.
So much fun. Thank you. And thank you all for listening. And always remember to live, love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time.